Hello there. Today I want to talk about a topic called marriage. Is it worth it? In my opinion, yes and no. When you preserve yourself for marriage, most fuckboys are gone because they can't abandon you without being financially supportive of the kid he helped screw into the world. But you can use the option for registered partners. You pretty much have the same rights. But if you still choose marriage, then this is how you ensure that it will last for a long time. Look for a man who won't become a distraction between you and your career the slightest. Don't listen to religious nuts who claim that sacrificing your career is worth it for your spouse. Men want you to make that sacrifice just for his ego, so that he can feel higher. Most men hate it if a woman's earning is more than his. And as woman, you are first married to your career before anyone else. Your paycheck is your true provider, so don't forsake it to become dependent on men. When you fall, nobody will pick you up besides your career, and also have the backbone to deny children getting between your marriage. If you allow your children to get between your marriage, not only will the marriage suffer, but you also become a miserable person. No one should be coming first in your life, it's yours. Your children will leave the house and the husband can move on. You are first place, then comes your career and marriage. Because when you enter the grave, you will enter the grave alone, and by society standards you are replaceable, so why act like others should be first place? If you don't put your career first before the husband, you will eventually fall apart because you are denying your own mental health and needs to put others first, and it's a vicious cycle women stay in because being called selfish is the worst thing ever to a lot of people. And if you put your kids before the marriage, then it will lead to a sexless marriage. The husband might grow apart from you and the risk of infidelity increases. You will also feel unhappy in the marriage, because it seems there is no time left for anything else because you keep telling yourself that the kids comes first. And when the marriage falls apart, the children will be hurt the most. It causes depression and might lead to a drinking problem in adolescence. You owe it to your children to show them how a marriage should function so that they will do the same for their family. Marriage is the glue that holds you together, not having more children to save a relationship. If you put your marriage first, then there is no need for saving since you never jeopardized it in the first place. You also shape better children. They are less likely to be entitled brats because they noticed as long as they can remember that the world doesn't revolve around them, and they respect other people's personal space and know how to make others respect theirs. They will also not be smothered with motherly love or have you over-involved in their life. It will cripple them mentally, so not having them in the center of your life feels great in the long run. They have the chance to breathe and develop in a healthy way. And you will understand that you can keep your distance, but watch over them like a hawk without invading their life. It will benefit both parties, and you will develop one of the most healthier relationships with people, and they will learn to have a healthy relationship in their future marriage. Entitled adults came from families where they are catered to and put first before their parents' happiness, and they will live with the mentality that other people should do the same for them. Like relationships where it's only a one-way street and the other person needs to entertain her boyfriend, because your presence is not enough to have a good time. She must keep the conversation going, she must think of activities to have fun, and she's the one who has to be romantic while he thinks of nothing. Boys who are put first will also become angry when women deny them their phone number. In their mind they will be like, how dare she denying me her time? Or become mad when his girlfriend didn't make breakfast for him. And with women you have that entitlement issue too. They become angry when you refuse to babysit for them because they are used to being put first all the time by her parents and expect you to do her favors as a thank you for having this awesome privilege to be her friend. Chances are less likely that they'll seek friendships just to get money loaned to them, and chances are higher than the friendship is based on truth. Kids who aren't put before their parents' marriage will not show this kind of behavior easily because they know that nobody is obligated to spend time on them. They are more likely to view their responsibility as their own and will not expect others to solve their problems. You will create better adults than most parents have for putting your marriage first. No matter how much sacrifices you make, no matter how many times you put your marriage last place because of the kids, they will move on. And if you think an empty nest is bad, then wait until you have to deal with an empty heart. Putting your marriage first doesn't mean you need to love your spouse more. In fact, you should love your spouse and children equally so that none of them will feel left behind. A good wife caters to marriage and her career to set a good example, and a good husband encourages it. With that, you will be one of these rare couples who will remain together until death do you part, because you'll stay in love forever and the honeymoon phase will never cease. It will only change shape, and in most cases it will form into something better. Partners for life, best friends, and you experience the best life ever. Not only that, but you are a mentor to others. People are more likely to respect a woman who has been married or in a relationship for a long time over a woman who had multiple relationships and children from several fathers. Set a good example instead of acting out on your feelings, because no matter what you do, you are going to be judged anyway. Step number 2. Stop with the roles. Nobody should just be the nurturer or the disciplinarian. Both husband and wife should have these qualities. Both should be disciplinarian in the household. When father says no, then kids have no business asking the same question to mother, because she will say no as well. Step number 3. Don't spend time on anything that doesn't include your career or marriage. I've seen a lot of idiots online who moan on my comments for weeks while they claim that they are married. Well, I don't want a husband to waste time online talking to strangers, and neither should you. If he prioritizes nonsense, then he can easily let his marriage to be ruined by hooking up with a cheap slut, because if a stranger online is worthy a minute of his time, then you know that you are ending up with trash if he puts a ring on you. Step number 4. Do a lot for him, but only do everything for yourself. If you do everything for a man, he will see it as an invitation to treat you like a free mate at his service, take you for granted, call you names because basically you are his bitch, and will wonder if he can trade you in for a booty call, because he can easily come back to you when the grass isn't greener on the other side. If you are the only person you do everything for, then his biggest weapon for manipulation is not functioning. He will either leave without marrying you, or he appreciates you for refusing to be treated as a slave. Little boys hate women with a backbone, so don't be sad when he fucks off.